Welcome to the Fiber Café, a crochet mini-series where we turn sweet treats into adorable amigurumi keychains. First on the menu, meet Fifi the Cupcake. With her pink frosting and flashy cheeks, she's a perfect mix of cute and cozy. And today I'm showing you how to make her from start to finish. So grab your hook and yarn and let's crochet some sweetness together. Okay, and what I'm gonna use for this project is gonna be this pink color big twist, and then I'm gonna use this like tan color. I don't think this is big twist. I had this for a while, so I will say probably I love this yarn. And then I'm gonna be using my 4mm crochet hook. I'm gonna need some scissors, and then you can either use safety eyes. Me personally, I'm not gonna do that. I didn't have any on me and I didn't want it to order, so I'm gonna be using these black jelly AB rhinestone, and I'm gonna be using, this is a mixed with three sizes. I'm gonna use the bigger one, which is this one. And if you're interested in this, I got this from crystals from TikTok shop. And then to place these rhinestones, I'm gonna be using this like a rhinestone pan. I got this one also on TikTok from the crystals. And then to glue them, I'm gonna use this E6000 glue. Okay, so let's get started. We're also gonna need some like poly filler and stitch markers. Okay, I couldn't find my stitch markers. Yeah, so I'm gonna be using this little sewing clip and see if that works. All right, so we're gonna start with a tan color, and this is gonna be the cupcake base. Okay. So when we're gonna start with a magic circle, and how I do mine, I place the yarn like so, grabbed it, hold it with my thumb, kind of cross it like so, and then I grabbed my hook, insert it from the back, grab the yarn, kind of twist it, and then I'm gonna pinch with my finger, and then I'm gonna grab these two strands, make the loop smaller, and pass it through. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna single crochet 6. This little chain that we did there is not gonna count as any stitch. So okay, so there's one. I'm gonna make my circle a little smaller, so I'm just gonna pull that tail so it's easier for me to grab. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm gonna close the ring. I'm not gonna close it super tight. Okay, so now we skip this little chain that we did and we go to our first stitch right here, and that's where we're gonna start the new the second round. So now we're gonna increase, so we're gonna single crochet in every single stitch for us to have 12 stitches. Okay, so there's 1, and then over here, that's when I'm gonna put my little clip in there so I can know where I started. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and then next stitch we do other 2, and we repeat the same thing until we have 12. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then last 2, 11, and 12. I don't think this little sewing clip is gonna be much help because it gets on my way. Okay, so we have 12 stitches right there. Now for round 3, we're gonna single crochet 1 and then do an increase, and then single crochet 1 and then an increase, and we're gonna repeat that all the way around until we have 18 stitches. So I'm gonna go to my first stitch here, single crochet 1, and then I'm just gonna put my marker there, and then I'm gonna increase on the next one. So there's 1 and 2, and then 1 stitch on the next one, and then an increase on the second one, and we repeat that all the way around. Okay, so 18 stitches later, and this is what we have. Okay, now for round 4, we're basically gonna repeat the same thing, but this time around we're gonna single crochet on the next 2 stitches, and then we're gonna do an increase and then 2 stitches and then an increase all the way around until we have 24 stitches. So I go to my next stitch and I do 1 single crochet, and since my little clip was not working, I got a piece of the pink yarn right here. So I'm gonna insert my hook there, and then I'm gonna grab this yarn and just pull it around like so, so I know where is my first stitch. Okay. Okay, now we single crochet on the next one. Okay, and then we increase on the next stitch. So there's 1 and 2, and then we single crochet on the next stitch, single crochet on the next stitch, and then an increase on the next one. So there's 1 and 2, and we're gonna repeat that all the way around until we get to right here. And like I said, we should have 24 stitches. All right, 24 stitches later. Now for the second round, again, basically the same thing. This time around, we're gonna single crochet 3 stitches and then an increase, then 3 stitches, then an increase. So I'm gonna remove my marker there, and on the next stitch I'm gonna single crochet, gonna insert my hook and place my stitch marker again. Okay, okay, now I'm gonna single crochet on the next stitch and on the next, and then I'm gonna increase on the next one. So there's 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna single crochet on the next 3 stitches. So there's 1 2 and 3, and then we do an increase on the next one. So there's 1 and 2, and we're just gonna repeat that same thing all the way around, and we should have 30 stitches. And also I'm gonna be using for the keychain part just a keychain to, I don't even know how you call this, but yeah. And then to help me out to put it on, I'm just gonna use my tools here. All right, so now we are going to single crochet only on the back loops around. So okay, so we are going to single crochet 30 stitches back loop only, and that's what is gonna make our base to start taking shape, like to start going up. So I'm going to remove my stitch here, my marker, and then on the next stitch, so let's see if I can show this. Okay, so these are our two. This is a front loop and this is the back loop. So we're gonna single crochet on the back loop right here. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to insert the hook on the back loop there, chain 1. I'm gonna insert my marker here. There you go. Okay, and then we're gonna just repeat that all the way around for 30 stitches. Now next stitch, back loop. Okay, next stitch, front back loop, and we're gonna repeat that all the way around until we get to our marker, or until we have 30 stitches. All right, so I just got here to the end, and now for round 7 through the 10, we're just gonna single crochet all the way around until we have 30 stitches. So I'm gonna remove my stitch marker. We're not gonna do any back loops anymore, so we're just gonna grab like normal the 2 loops right there. So there's my first stitch, and I'm gonna add my piece of yarn. Okay, and I just keep repeating the same, single crochet all the way around until I get to my marker, or until I have 30 stitches. And I repeat, this is round 7th, so we're gonna do that for round 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my rounds, and I'll be right back. All right, so I just finished the 10 rounds, and this is what I have. Yep. So now we can fasten off. I'm gonna remove my marker there. I'm gonna leave a decent tail. And I'm gonna slip stitch. And pull. Okay, the here where we started, you just pull so you can close the the ring. And if you get a tapestry needle, you can just hide it, or you can cut it. You can cut it also and just add like a little dot of like glue or something, just to glue it there. This one I'm gonna leave it there because I'm just gonna hide it as I'm working. Because this one is gonna help me to attach the frosting part. Okay, so now we can move on to the other color. All right, so we're gonna start with the magic circle as well. All right, so we're gonna single crochet 6 in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I'm gonna close the circle, and then I'm gonna increase just like we did with the base. So I'm gonna do 2 stitches around until I have 6 stitches. All right, I just finished the round. So I did 6 single crochets around the ring, and then an increase for the next round. So now I have 12 stitches. Okay, now for the second round, I am going to single crochet 1, and then I'm going to increase. So it's basically what we did with the base right here. So I'm gonna remove my stitch from there. Excuse me. And I'm going to single crochet on the next stitch. I'm going to insert my marker. Right. And then we are going to increase on the next one. Okay, so there's 1 and 2, and for the next one we single crochet, and for the next one we increase. So that's what we're gonna repeat all the way around until we have 18 stitches. So I'm gonna go ahead and do mine, and I'll be right back. Okay, for the next round, basically we're gonna do again the same thing. I'm gonna single crochet on the next. I'm gonna insert my marker. Okay, and then for the next stitch, I'm gonna do another single crochet, and then on the next one we increase, and then for the next 1 stitch, and for the next one another stitch, and then we increase, and we repeat this all the way around until we get to the stitch marker, and we have 24 stitches. All right, this is what I have right now. So now for the next round, basically repeating the same thing. We're gonna single crochet on the next 3 stitches. So there's my first one. We add the stitch marker, So now I single crochet on the next two. 1 and 2, so we have 3 in total, and then we increase. Okay, and then we single crochet on the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we increase 1 and 2, and we just repeat the same thing all the way around until we get to the end. Okay, now from here, I'm gonna single crochet for 2 rounds, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I did 3 rounds with just single crocheted all the way around, and this is what I have right now. Okay, if you want your frosting to be taller, you can definitely make more rounds if you want, but I'm gonna stop there. I am going to cut, and I'm going to slip stitch and fasten off. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is these tails you just pull, and like I said earlier, you can hide them, you can cut them, just don't cut too close, obviously, to that they can unravel. So now I am going to cut this one a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my base, and I'm gonna kind of like fold it like so. Then I'm gonna get my top and kind of sandwich them together like this, like you lined the stitches, and I'm gonna insert my hook through those 4 loops right there. Gonna grab the same color of my frosting. Okay, and then I'm gonna make a chain, and then I'm gonna grab the next 4, and then I'm gonna make sure that I'm grabbing this tail right there so I can hide it as I go, and I just single crochet, and that's what I'm gonna do all the way around through all the stitches. Just single crochet the frosting and the base together. Okay, and I'm gonna continue doing this all the way until we have like a good space right here so we can start filling. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, before I start filling this up, I'm gonna decide where I want the front of my cupcake to be. So I guess pick the pretty side. I guess I'm just gonna do it here. Okay. So I am going to start with my eyes, and I'm going to put some of the rhinestones here. Perfect. I got this one also, by the way, on iCrystals on TikTok shop. And what I'm gonna do is gonna grab this hot glue, not hot glue, just the E1000 glue. And then with this little stick, I'm gonna grab a little bit of the glue because I don't want to add too much. So I'm gonna get some in there, and then I'm gonna add a dot with where one eye is gonna be. Okay, and then I am going to grab my pencil and just grab my rhinestone, and I'm just gonna add it there. Okay, and I think I'm gonna add the other one probably right there. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave 2 stitches between the 2 eyes. So I'm gonna get more glue and add a dot right there. Oop. I think I added a little too much. Oh no, okay. And we insert the eye right there. I think I added a little too much there. Oopsies. Gonna with my hand help me to for the eye. I feel like the eye is a little crooked. I'm just gonna press it down. Oop. Just gonna press it down. Okay. So there's the 2 eyes. Then with some black, with a black thread, I'm gonna make the mouth. And since my thread is a little thin, I'm just gonna make sure to go through it a couple times. If you have a thicker yarn, you can just, thread, you can do that. Even if you get your black yarn and you just like divide it, that will work too. Whoop. Make a quick little knot. Whoop. These nails, man, I hardly ever get acrylics, and this time around I really wanted to get them done, so I did, but these nails get on the way sometimes. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start my mouth kind of probably right there, and I'm gonna make sure to leave a tail there, and then I'm gonna go down there. Whoa. Like so, and then I'm gonna go on the top here and go back here in the middle, so. And then I'm gonna go back here on the top so I can make the smile a little bit more there. And then on the middle, then we go back again, and then back in the middle. Oh, my eye fell off. Okay. So I really thought that this 8,000 glue was gonna work, but I guess not. The other one seemed like it's on place. Okay, if this side doesn't stay, I'm just gonna get my hot glue gun and put a little dot and see if that works. You know, I do have safety eyes, but I believe they're too big. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the mouth, and I'm gonna keep repeating the same thing until I'm happy with them. Right? So I'm kind of carefully gonna flip it like so, and I'm just gonna make knots over here. Oh, okay, my eyes keep falling off. So I can make a knot so I can cut my thread. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna flip it back. Okay, so my rhinestone eyes are not working apparently. So I guess I'm gonna go and grab the safety eyes that I have and see, but I think they're gonna be too big, but let's try. Okay, so this is what I have. I think they're too big, and then I only have brown, so I don't know if that's gonna make it look like creepy, maybe. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I like it. Yeah. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, a couple days later, I decided to buy safety eyes, and I got this from Amazon. And I think I'm gonna be using these ones for, yeah, for these projects, for this series. And that is the size, the 6mm. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna remove these hideous ones that I tried on. These ones are really cute, like in other plushies, but for this one, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm gonna insert these ones on the same space that I did the other ones. So we'll put this one there. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, we put the safety thing in the back. Oh my gosh, if I can get it in. Okay, there's one. Okay, for the little blush, I think I'm gonna use this color. I don't have a lighter color, and for this series I'm trying to use what I already have. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna add it right there. Gonna leave a little bit of a tail there. Come down, and then you can just insert your needle between those threads there, so you can just get the threads. Whoa, just don't pull it hard like I did there. So I'm gonna do that again. Go there and there. Oop. And I think that's probably fine. You can do it thicker again, like if that's what you want. I'm gonna cut, and I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other one, to the other side. Okay, and then I'll go to the other side, right about there. Leave something there, pass it through, and there you go. Okay, so now I tie it off. Make sure that they're secured. Okay, so now there's the eyes, the mouth, and the little blush. Now we can start putting the filling in. All right, so here's my poly filler. I obviously don't need that much, but I'm gonna start filling little by little. Okay, and as you're filling in, yeah, just kind of move it around with your fingers, and then try to close it down and see if you're happy with what you have, or if you want more filling, which I think I'm gonna put a little bit more on the top. And instead of like push it back down, I'm just gonna push it like up like this. Okay. And then once we close, it's gonna look like that. Okay, so I think that's all I'm gonna fill it in with. So now I'm just gonna keep going what I did here. So I'm gonna grab my yarn, my hook, and then just keep grabbing stitches and do single crochets all the way around until we get to the end. Okay, once we get to the end, I'm just gonna insert my hook there, do a slip stitch, cut my yarn a little long, not too much, just so I can hide it inside. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go back and kind of like move it around, make it look to keep the shape. Okay, now I can hide this. Okay, and before I go to the next step, this is what we have right now. Now I have my keychain thing here, and with the help of some tools, I am gonna grab one side with one of them and the other one with the other, and I'm just gonna open it up a little bit, like so. I am gonna get a piece of yarn from there. Like so. And then again, with the help of the tools, I'm just gonna put it back like that. And then squeeze it to make sure it's not gonna fall. Okay, and then now that's what I have. So now I am gonna make the swirl for the top, and to do that we're gonna get again the color that we use for the frosting. Okay, now for the frosting I am going to chain 150 chains. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, after we're done with 150 chains, we're gonna start single crocheting all the way until the end. So we're gonna skip the first stage, and on the second one we're gonna do a single crochet, and we just repeat that same thing all the way to the end, one single crochet on every stitch. So I'm gonna go ahead and do mine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished the 150 single crochet, so I'm gonna cut, and I'm just gonna fast enough here. Okay, so I'm gonna start kind of towards the back, and I have my hot glue gun ready to go. And whoa, okay, I'm gonna add a little dot right there, and I'm just going to put my tail there. Okay, and then I'm gonna start adding dots, so, and then I'm gonna twist and kind of like, don't make it too loose so you don't run out of like of the chain that we did. Okay, and then add another dot, and then keep twisting. And what I'm gonna do as I go, I'm just gonna add the pins not directly where the glue is, but kind of like on the side, just so it stays on place as I'm going. Okay, and then another dot. Oop. And then I twist, and then I press it down and add a pin not directly on the glue but on the side, and then I just keep going. I am going to speed it up a little bit. Okay, I'm almost to the end, and as you can see, this is what I have left and this is what I have left. So I could have stretched it a little bit more, but we will make it work. Okay, so I'm gonna add the glue for the last part. And again, I'm gonna twist, and I'm gonna make sure to cover as much as I can. There you go. Also, all this swirl is gonna help us kind of cover the keychain and for it to look like more professional. And since I have these little tails there, I'm gonna add a quick dot right here, and then I'm just gonna kind of glue them there a little bit. There you go. And before it completely dries, I'm just gonna cut. Oh my gosh, my scissors suck. There you go. And then I'm just gonna squish. And then I'm just gonna kind of squish like this so everything just stays in place. I'm gonna give it like maybe a minute or two more to completely dry, and then we can remove the pins. Okay, so let's remove all the pins, and I'm gonna start with the first ones that I added. Okay, I'm gonna squish it so it can get the shape that I want. And that's it. These are adorable cupcake keychain. To me, this swirled on the top just looks like actual frosting. So cute. This is the end. So this is the end of this video. I hope it was easy to follow. And if you want to see what we're making next, make sure to follow and hit that like button if you like it. See you on the next one.